Hi, we're on Sense 40 today. So, since we're on another group of 10, I just wanted to check in and look back on your journal and see if you're finding any differences in your 1 to 10s or just any difference in maybe your perception of things in your life or any differences at all that you're noticing that you're observing are kind of going along with being more and more connected to your body and more aware of all the senses that it has and all the messages that it's telling you. I would love to hear if you want to comment on that in the comments as well. So go ahead and do your journal work and include that either before or after this activity where you just kind of do a review and notice any changes that are happening through this course. So number 40, we're actually only a little more than 10. We've a few more than 10 to go to get to 54, but we're like on the home stretch here, you guys. This is amazing. So, not that it's a race at all. Sense of humility, appreciation, and ethics. I think this one is so fascinating. Partly because every species is so kind of biologically oriented to reproduce its own genes, right? Survival and reproduce its own genes, including us. And yet we also can tap into this sense of humility and appreciation and what's right and what's wrong. Ethics, I would say, are somewhat culturally formed. But no matter what, we do have this access, I think even without the cultural values, in our hearts to what is right and wrong. We can also become desensitized by our culture to something that initially didn't feel good. For example, eating meat. If originally as a child, and I'll tell you because I have 2 of them, and if you do, you might notice this as well, if your children were not raised eating meat, the first time they see someone eat meat, or the first time Vivi heard someone talk about eating chicken, she was like horrified, because those creatures are friends to her. Makes me want to cry. She's just so sensitive to other creatures and their desires to stay alive and to experience life and joy just like we do. So when she first heard that, it was really horrifying to her. And another time, we always go on, we call them little nature walks, and we watch bugs and we look for creatures and we look at trees and plants, and she loves to watch bugs, ants or whatever we find. And we were at someone's house and one of her little friends just smashed a bug, and Vivi looked at me, I'll never forget the look on her face, like, why in the world would someone do that? Hurt a creature on purpose. And it's not because this little friend is mean. They've just been desensitized to that, right? And Vivi's very tuned in to those kinds of things. So if it's not desensitized, I think we have this natural affinity and natural empathy, for other living creatures. And we can desensitize our desensitization. We can resensitize ourselves to that, which is partly what we're doing in this course too. We're getting in touch with, how we really feel. And so that may show up in other areas that we're not even talking about as well. So no activity today, just maybe reflect on that in your life and what that means for you. I will add an optional activity. If you have the ability to get outside at night, tonight, even just for a few moments and look up at the sky, even better if you can lay down on the grass, get some ass in the grass time and get that earthing and have some electron transfer happening. You'll sleep better, you'll feel better. And just look up at the sky. And I think a lot of people experience that sense of humility when we realize we're one tiny dot in billions of other tiny dots, and in a universe, galaxy, so many systems out there. We're so small, and we're here for such a short time. So that can kind of reconnect us with experience of feeling humility and appreciation. We get to be here for this short time to experience life from this body in the way that we're experiencing, which is unique to anyone else on the planet. So with that, go ahead and journal, maybe after you've done that tonight, if you have a chance to do that. If you don't, maybe come up with your own little activity where you're noticing the vastness that we are held in as individuals. And notice if there's a sense of appreciation and humility. All right. I would love, as always, to hear any comments, and have a wonderful connected day. Bye.